Hello everyone, I am Dr. Soumya Das, Associate Professor from Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology, Greater Noida. Hope you are doing very well, students. So today as we continuing the unit 2, that is skeletal system, we study lecture number 12, that is division of skeletal system and bones of skull today, which is coming under the subject human anatomy and physiology with code BP 101T. So let's start. You all know, students, as per our previous lectures, we had gone several different systems. Apart from that, we are considering one most important system in our body, in the human body, which is nothing but the skeletal system. You know, we have a complete framework of bones inside our body, which is considered as skeletal system, and we have complete 206 bones in a human body. So let's start. A typical human adult skeleton consists of following 206 bones, and from this 206 total number of bones in our body, some of the people have slightly more or some may fewer number of bones inside them, because the reason is that when a newborn or a neonate born, they have more number of bones, and later on when he or she may become adult, some of the bones get fused, so the number may be decrease. Some bones are which are present or located distal from the body, that are known as distal, means farther from the main organs, and some are proximal. Proximal means, students, these are situated and located near to the torso region. So when we said three main types or the locations of bones, one is proximal ending, means the torso location, second is the intermediate, and the third location of bones inside the human skeletal system is considered to be as a distal, which is nothing but the farther from the main organs, we can say, of the body. So we have basically 22 bones in the skull. In our previous lecture, we gone through the skeletal system is divided into two parts, one is axial and one is appendicular. So today we will study about the axial, means the bones of skull. Okay, so it is having complete 22 bones in them, which is further divided into cranial bones, which is 8 in numbers, 8 bones in cranial system, and second is the facial bones. As the name depicts, facial means it covers our face. Okay, so it is comprises of 14 bones in them. So see the diagram, students. Let's focus on this diagram. You will see here, this is the anterior view. Anterior view, and this is the posterior view, okay, at the back side of the human skeletal system. So when we are considering about the anterior view of the human skeleton, initially we have the skull. From the anterior means front side, and from the posterior back side also you will see the complete structure of skull. Okay. Then we have again the neck bone, and which is comprises of the scapulae and clavicle. Okay. Beneath this, you know, we have the diaphragm or the ribs, which cover our vital organs, which is the lungs, and it is the center bone is known as the sternum. Then we have forelimbs and hind limbs. Forelimbs, you will see here, the biggest bone is humerus in the forelimbs. Beside this, we have radius and ulna. Okay, and the sternum is comprises of 12 pairs of ribs. Then we have carpals before the ulna, then metacarpals, we will see later on in our next few slides, and then we have phalanges. Different number of bones are there in the phalanges of our both right as well as left hand. Then you will see in the center part of the skeletal system we have pelvic girdle. Listen, students, the clavicle or the scapula is considered as the pectoral girdle. Pectoral girdle. Then we have at the trunk area of the human body the pelvic girdle, okay, the pelvis cavity, and beneath this we have the hind limbs, which is comprised of bones, which is the long bone, same as in our hand. We have the longest bone is humerus, while in our leg or the hind limb, when we are talking about, we have femur, the long bone, as compared to the tibia and fibula. Okay, students, and between the femur and the tibia and fibula bone, we have one junction or joint. This is known as the patella. Okay. So, this is, we can say, the anterior, complete anterior view of the human skeleton. And when we see from the posterior of human body, you will see here clearly a triangular shape bony structure, which is nothing but the scapula, which hold the ribs, sternum, as well as protect our lungs from any further damage or injury. Then in the pelvic girdle area, again it is comprises of three main bones. One is ilium, you will see here this part is ilium. Beneath the ilium there is ischium, and at the bottom where the pubic area start, we have pubis bone. Okay, students. So, this is the complete human skeletal from both the view, means anterior as well as posterior. So, today in this lecture we will basically focus on the axial part. Okay. Later on we will go for the appendicular system. In the axial we have complete 22 number of bones, which is there present in the skull, and it is further divided into two. One is cranial bone, second is the facial bone, cranial in 8 number, facial in 14 numbers. Let us see the complete number of bones with their calculations in this slide. So, starting with the middle ear. When we are talking about our ear part, which is one of the main sense organs, you already know, students. So, in the middle ear we have complete 6 numbers of bones. In the throat area, okay, in the throat area we have single bone, that is why it is written in the bracket 1. In the thorax 25 numbers of bones are there. Now, in the, when we are talking about the spinal cord or our vertebral column, it is comprises of 24 number of different length as well as size of bones. Now, after that come to the pectoral girdle. Okay, these all comprises of pelvic girdle. The second is the pectoral girdle, which is having complete 4 number of bones in them. Now, come to the body is divided into upper limb, upper body portion, and the lower body portion. It is considered as the upper limbs and the lower limbs. The upper limb is comprises of complete 60, and this is its division. How the upper limb is containing 60 different bones? Listen here. In the arms we have complete 6 different bones. We will see individual bones in upper, lower limb, in the pelvis, pelvic girdle, pectoral girdle in our next few slides. Then we have arms containing 6 number of bones. We have wrist area, okay, and this is termed as the carpal bones in the forelimbs. And when we are talking about the hind limb, students, the lower leg body part, we have tarsals, okay, carpals in the hand, that is the wrist, and tarsals in the leg area, okay. So, carpal bones, the complete number is 16. Then we have palm, and it is comprises of 10 number of different size bones, and the palm area bones is also known as the metacarpal bones. Just beneath the carpal we have metacarpals, and then we have the different 5 fingers in each hand, 10 in total finger bones, or it is known as the phalanges. So, if we leave the thumb, we have 3 phalanges in our 4 fingers. In thumb we have only 2 phalanges. So, its number is 28 when we considered in both of our hands. Now, see the pelvic girdle. Okay. The pelvic girdle is the pelvis area, and it is having complete 4 bones. Now, we considered the upper limbs. Coming to the lower limb or the hind leg area, it is again 16 number, same as the upper limb number of bones. Okay. So, let us talk here in when we are talking about the legs, which includes the patella, which is the center bony structure which helps in further the movement of the bones. Patella ko, including patella, we have total 8 number of bones in the both of the legs. Now, after in the hind limb or in the lower legs, we have ankle. Like in hand, in the arms we have carpal. As I said you today also, we have in the leg the ankle portion, which is nothing but the tarsal bones. And when we talking about both of the legs, it will complete 14 number of bones, 7 in each leg. Then we have instep, tarsal, which is instep or known as the further division of bones, which is nothing but the metatarsals. Metatarsal bones in both of the legs, 10 in number. Then toe bones or the phalanges, again the bones of the leg fingers, okay, 14 in each leg. So, we have total 28 in the phalanges in the leg side. So, this is complete, we can say, the bony number or the number of different bones which is there located inside the human skeletal system. Now, how the number between when we talking about the infants or any newborn neonate is the number of bones is differ when we considered it with any individual adult. Why? The reason is here, students. The infant skeletal has the following bones in addition from the adult's bone. Like first one, you will see the sacral vertebrae in the vertebral column of the newborn. It is extra 4 to 5 bones which later on fused in case of a complete human adult to form a single bony structure which is named as the sacrum. And after that we have in the newborn or neonate the coccygeal vertebrae. Here again you will see in the child we have 3 to 5 in numbers, which also later when he or she may become adult, it will fuse to form one structure, bony structure, which is coccyx. Remember this. And then third part is the division of this coccyx or the pubis area. The 3 different bones we have, ilium, ischium and pubis, which later on when we become adult, it fuse to form a pelvic girdle. So, this is the reason why there is more number of bones, 302 approximately, as compared to the adults, which is 206 in numbers. So, now we will discuss in detail, little bit detail about the bones of the skull. So, you will see here a very good diagram, well labeled diagram of skull. Skull contains complete 22 bones, in which 8 cranial bones are there and 14 facial different bones are there. Facial means which cover the bones of our face, and this facial and cranial bones together combine and makes a skull. So, cranial bones form the cranial cavity or the cranium, which ultimately surrounds and protects very important organ and delicate system, which is nothing but the brain. Okay. And this is the cranium, and second is the facial bone. Facial, we have 14 different bones, and this ultimately forms a framework or the structure and size of a face, framework of the face, which ultimately supports the entrance to the digestive system, because we have starting the oral cavity, which ultimately goes down to the neck area, as well as it is connected to the digestive as well as respiratory systems, and it ultimately provides a attachment point for the muscles, smooth muscles, skeletal muscles, which are involved in different facial expression. Like for example, I am talking, okay, smiling, different expressions represented by the face. All these 14 facial bones are responsible for this. Okay. So, now see the diagram, students. This picture we have complete skull area. So, starting with the beginning, in the yellow starting part we have frontal bony area, which is nothing but the forehead. Okay. So, this is the frontal area. Beneath this pink point pink area, we have the sphenoid bone. So, you have to remember these terminologies individually. In the frontal, we have front area, frontal bone. Then just beside our both of the eyes, right and left, we have the sphenoid bones, and in the orbital cavity where our eye is fixed is considered as the ethmoid bone. In the nose area, we have nasal bone. Then again in the orbital area, the lacrimal bone. Now come to the upper and lower jaw. When we are talking about our mouth part, the upper jaw is known as the zygomatic. Just the upper jaw, we have a bony framework, or we can say a compilation of few number of bones which covers and named as the zygomatic bony structure, and the lower area, lower jaw is termed as the mandible. Okay. Now coming to the back part, this is the front of the skull, anterior part. If we see the skull from the posterior area, we have large area which cover our most of the skull is the parietal. Just below the frontal area, we have parietal bony structure, and this parietal supports the temporal bony framework, and beneath the parietal we have occipital area, and after just in connection with the occipital bony structure, we have external acoustic meatus, which is nothing but the bones which protect and provide structure and support for the ear. And after that you will see a mastoid process which will support the brain stem or the muscles, which will ultimately goes from the head to the neck area. Then we have the styloid process. Again the mastoid and styloid process, you will see this is the sharp triangular approximately triangular structure is the styloid process. Okay. And beneath the temporal area we have temporal process and zygomatic process, which is when fused or in combination is known as the zygomatic arc. So, if anyone ask you a question, or if it is there in any your examination, what do you mean by zygomatic arc? So, you have to reply like the composition or the working of two bony structure, which is nothing but the temporal and the zygomatic process beneath the temporal bony area is considered as the zygomatic arc. Okay, students. So, you know skull is composed of 22 number of bones, in which 8 cranial bones we have, 14 facial bones we have. Now, cranial bones forms the cranial cavity which surround and protect the brain, you know. Facial bones, which is 14 in number, it forms a framework and provide a structure and support of the facial muscles. Now, coming to one by one cranial and facial bones. Again you will see we have 8 number of cranial bones, and it's I am showing you here a complete 8 counting representing the total 8 number of cranial bones. So, starting with this, in the eye orbital area we have 1 number of ethmoid bone, and then this is, you will see here, this is 1 number of sphenoid. In the frontal bone, front of the head, we have again 1 number of frontal bone. In the parietal we have 2 bone. Why? Because this is the complete skull and we have right and left hemisphere. So, when we see our skull like from this direction, from right side or from the left side, we have 2 different bones. That is why parietal is considered as right and left side of bones, which is 2 in number. Same as here you will see in the temporal side also. Just below the parietal bone we have temporal area. Okay. So, right as well as left we have again 2 number of bones in the temporal area of the cranial bones, and again in the occipital, which is the back of the head, is number 1, occipital bone is 1. So, when we calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Total we have 8 cranial bones in the skull. Now discuss its function one by one. Frontal bone in the front, or we can say in the head, forehead part, one bone, and it forms the forehead and it provides the roof of the eye socket, because it is just above the eye socket. So, it will support the eye, which is very delicate portion of our face. Then parietal bones, 2 in number, from the side as well as from different roof, means right side as well as from the left side, we have 2 parietal bones. When we see the complete cranial cavity from both the ends, right end and the left hand side. Then occipital, 1 in number, it forms the back and the base of the cranium cavity. Okay. So, it also contains the foramen magnum area. So, it is one bone is sufficient to complete this function of occipital bone. Then we have 2 different bones in the temporal, same as in parietal bone we have 2, because we have again right and left side of the skull. So, 2 number of temporal bone, and these 2 bones form the lower side of the cranium. You will see here lower side of the cranium. Okay, this is temporal bone, the right side you will see in this picture. Okay. So, it contains the external auditory meatus, which is nothing but the one bony structure of our auditory canal, which is the ear canal. And then we have 1 number of bone present in the sphenoid area, and it span the width of the cranial floor, means it will provide the base or the support to the complete cranium structure, and it shaped like a little bit, we can say butterfly like. Then we have 1 number of ethmoid bone, and it forms most of the bony structure, we can say the bony area of the cranium part between the nasal cavity, and it also covers the orbital eye socket part. Nasal means through the nose. Then it is composed of 3 different parts, which is first one is the crista galli, which is the triangular upper portion of the nasal tract. Then second is the cribriform plate, which contains the olfactory foramina, and the third one is the perpendicular plate, which divides our nose into 2 nostrils. Okay. So, perpendicular plates, which ultimately forms the part of the nasal septum. So, we have one nose with 2 nostrils, you know that also. Okay. So, this completes the cranium part with 8 number of bones. Now, come to the facial bones. We have complete 14 number of bones in this facial area. So, see the diagram, this is the complete axial, or we can say here we are focusing about the facial bones. So, see the nasal part, nasal we have 2 bones, okay, lacrimal because 2 eye, 2 bones right as well as left side. Then we have just beneath the nasal bone we have inferior, inferior means below, superior means above, okay, inferior nasal concha, which is again fixed with 2 different bones. Then we have upper jaw and the lower jaw, 2 maxillae from right as well as left side, 2 mandible, okay, not from the right and the left side. We have 2 maxillae and 1 mandible, because in the lower jaw we do not have any articulation. So, I hope you know about the term articulation means any form of joint. We have complete 1 bone in the mandible, lower jaw part, okay students, and the which form the nasal septum or the nasal plate. So, here in the nose area we found one vomer, one long bone which is vomer, and the zygomatic process we have 2, the green, it is represented as green colored structure here in the right side as well as the left hand side. We have 2 zygomatic process or 2 zygomatic bones, okay. And then you will see here the purple area is the vomer, a blue one, and right as well as left side this red dotted area is the palatine, okay. So, right and the left we have 2 palatine nasal cavities. So, see the text part students, you know we have total 14 bones in the facial area. which comprises of maxillae, which is 2 in number, and it forms the upper jaw, floor of the orbit, upper tongue, and the roof of the mouth. It contains the upper teeth. You know, in the upper jaw we have upper teeth fixed with them. Then we have 2 numbers of palatine, which is the L-shaped bone. You will see here, this is a little bit, we can consider like this diagram. So, we see this is little bit L-shaped, 2 palatines on both the side of our faces. Okay. It is approximately L-shaped and it is located behind the maxillae. Then 2 nasal bones, and they form the bridge or provide support to the nasal area. Then lacrimal, 2 different bones which is located in the medial walls of the orbit, we can say the eye sockets where our eye smooth structure is fixed. Now, zygomatic process or the zygomatic bones, 2 in number, which is the cheek bones, the facial, it joins the temporal bones to form the zygomatic arc. Then we have inferior nasal conchae, again 2 in number. It is very thin and curved bone that projects the nasal cavity, or it will form the entry or opening of the nostrils, and which divide these 2 nostril is the vomer, which is 1 in number. It forms a part of nasal septum. Then at the end we have the mandible 1, which is the lower jaw, and it articulates with the temporal bone at the TMJ, which is the temporomandibular joint, and it contains the lower teeth as well as the mental foramina. Now, some other bones of the skull, like we have in ear auditory ossels, you know we have malleus, incus and stapes. These are very tiny bones in the middle ear, and again we have a hyoid bone which is U in shape and present in our neck side, and its function is acting as a base for the tongue. It provides support and fixation of the tongue or help in speech, okay, in digestion, food engulfing. This is the only bone present in our body that does not articulate directly from any other bone. Now, coming to the cranial sutures, the skull, we have different sutures. Sutures is the, these are the sutures or the joining of the different parts of the skull. So, initially we have occipital bone. Apart from that, in the longitudinal we have lumboid suture, which is extend and makes the sagittal suture. The right parietal bone as well as the left parietal bone is differentiated because of this sagittal suture, and this complete long portion is the coronal suture. Beneath this we have the zygomatic bones, the 2 blue sides you will see, and in the yellow the main frontal, which is the head area, frontal bone, and after that we have the starting of our nose, the nasal bones. So, cranial sutures, these are nothing but the joints which made up of strong fibrous tissue, or it is known as the cranial sutures, and it is required basically for different bones to held together and for further development. Okay. So, the largest frontal is present in the front or the anterior part, and these are divided into the sagittal suture, coronal suture and the lumboid sutures. Okay. And the last is the sinus. So, sinus are the small void hold, or we can say gas filled areas, air filled cavities lined with the mucous membrane, and it is required to reduce the weight of the skull, and it is located in the frontal, sphenoid, ethmoid and the maxillary portion of the skull. So, you will see here the frontal sinus, we have 3 different sinus, frontal, ethmoid and maxillary. Okay. So, this is all about today's lecture. See you in our next lecture. Take care. Bye bye.